west coast of Vancouver Island has a well-earned reputation for tumultuous seas, violent weather, and fog. Towns, settlements, and roads are few and far between. Beyond the far horizon, Japan is the next significant piece of land. Battered by the restless expanse of the Pacific Ocean, the coastline is fragmented into a series of sounds. Larger vessels must make the journey around the top and bottom of Vancouver Island, but once on the west coast, they are only exposed to the open ocean for 20 to 30 miles between each of the sounds. Our vessel is Venture, now in her 10th season, with more than 48,000 miles under her keel. Most boats head south down the west coast, but we chose the opposite direction and have a bumpy ride up the Straits of Juan de Fuca. We spend the night in Port Renfrew and continue on to West Bamford, where we moor at Mills Landing. Chris launches the tender to cross over to East Bamford, which is connected by road to the rest of the island. West Bamford is more rural. Our evacuation route takes us past waterfront cottages and the Coast Guard station. A long fjord connects Barkley Sound to Port Alberni, which is almost on the east coast. Despite its name, the Port Alberni Yacht Club has its only premises on Fleming Island, to which we now head. Here we receive a great welcome and are made to feel very much at home. The surrounding waters are a mix of skerries, rocks and islands, and are best explored by tender. There are numerous caves. Colorful sea stars cling to the rocks at low tide. The plumage of this ruddy turnover blends with its surroundings. After raising the large tender, we move on to Woowa Island, where the guidebook describes an easy path to an exposed beach. Another case where the situation on the ground falls well short of the description in the book. Chris brings the small tender to collect us from a beach, densely packed with logs. There's a sandy beach somewhere under here. Logs are a common hazard in these waters. This one will take off on the next high tide to lie in wait for the unwary. Christine slips while boarding the tender, proving that the self-inflating jackets do indeed self-inflate. Venture carries 2 tenders, a larger Zodiac for longer trips, and a small one with a flat bottom for going ashore. We crossed the mouth of Berkeley Sound to the town of Ucluelet, home to many commercial fish boats. Ucluelet is connected by surfaced road to the rest of the island. We awake to a misty morning. Quite by chance, we arrive on the occasion of the Yuki Days parade. I wonder about the Old Limey sign. A highlight is the loggers competition.
We're doing very well. I'll sit down there on the left and Robert over here on the viewer that's pushing the wood out. That's that man over here pulling it out. It's going to be
This is a scary competition. Watch the guy in the foreground. This is a handicap event, and he started last, 40 seconds after the guy at the far end. We walk along the coast trail and watch a black bear foraging for berries. This turned out to be the only good bear sighting of the entire trip. Concealed in the undergrowth are tiny carnivorous sundew plants, each glistening drop a sticky nectar trap for unwary insects. Gnarled and deformed trees are evidence of the severe weather for which this coast is famous. This photo of a photo in a shop window shows the Tofino lifeboat leaving harbour during a winter storm. For ourselves, we have a smooth ride on the short passage to Clayoquot Sound. This fog bow is a reminder of what we can expect. We are spared all but glimpses of fog until much later in the trip, but its ghostly presence is our constant companion. Having visited Tofino by road from Ucluelet, we moved directly inland up Clayoquot Sound. Many interesting bays have narrow entrances, like this one at Water Creek, which must be navigated with care and at the right state of the tide. The sterling weather exceeds all our expectations. We make our first of several river excursions in the small tender. The water is shallow and crystal clear. In places we need to use paddles. Strangely, the water is brown at the mouth of the river. There are many jellyfish. Concerned about one being sucked into the generator intake, we restrict its use. Chris examines this clump of flowers, apparently sprouting from solid rock. Nootka, the next major sound, is of great historical significance.